we saw that your license can be suspended for 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years based on the number of demerit points that you accumulate. Now, it cannot be that you accumulate 3 demerit points now and then after a long period of time, number of years, you acquire 3 more, causing it to become 6. There has to be some period after which they expire. So let's look at the expiration and expungement of demerit points. This is section 99 of the Road Traffic Act 2018. It says, where demerit points have been recorded against a person's driver's license under section 98 and the driver's license of that person, the driver's license, so your driver's license has been suspended under section 32, the authority shall cause the demerit points that have been recorded against that driver's license to be expunged in the prescribed manner after the period of suspension has ended. So if your driver's license was suspended, then once that suspension period expires, all demerit points would have expired with it. Or B, as your license has not been suspended, but you have demerit points, right? The demerit points that have been recorded against the person's driver's license shall expire in accordance with the prescribed procedure. We will look at the prescribed procedure, but let's look at section 100, changes in the demerit points system by the minister. That would be the Minister of Transport. Where the minister amends the 6th schedule pursuant to section 128, the order shall be published in a daily newspaper circulated in Jamaica not less than 7 days before the coming into force of the order, and shall also be published in the Gazette. Now we're looking at the Road Traffic Regulations 2022 as it relates to expungement of demerit points. Regulation 164. Now, part 1 says, where a person has not accumulated demerit points such that the suspension of the license is warranted, that means you accumulate less than 10 demerit points, each demerit point shall expire after a period of 15 months. That's 1 year and 3 months. Good. 2. Where a driver's license has been suspended as a result of the accumulation of demerit points by the authority in accordance with section 32 of the Act, the notice of the suspension issued to the holder of a driver's license pursuant to section 32 subsection 2 of the Act. That part deals with the suspension, whether it's 6 months, 1 year, or 2 year. Alright, so here, let's look at that again. The notice of the suspension issued to the holder of the license pursuant to section 32 subsection 2 of the Act shall be in the form set out in Form S in Part A of the 3rd schedule. Subsection 3. Where a person has accumulated 10 or more but less than 14 demerit points relating to speeding offenses within a 12-month period, the person shall, in addition to serving any period of suspension specified in Section 32 of the Act, and any penalty specified in the 6th Schedule to the Act, and before being permitted to operate a motor vehicle. So if you accumulate between 10 and 13 demerit points within 1 year period for speeding, your license will be suspended. But upon expiration of that suspension, these are what you're required to do before you're permitted to operate a motor vehicle again. A. Successfully complete training on the dangers of speeding by a certified driving instructor. B. Pass a written test on the hazards of speeding administered by the authority. So those are the two things that you're required to do. Subsection 4. Where a person has accumulated 14 or more but less than 20 demerit points relating to speeding offenses within a 12-month period, the person shall, in addition to serving any period of suspension specified in Section 32 of the Act, and any penalty specified in the 6th Schedule to the Act, and before being permitted to operate a motor vehicle. Now, based on this, your license would have been suspended not for 6 months this time, but for 1 year, because you accumulated 14 or more, but less than 20. But where these occurred due to speeding, before you're able to legally operate another motor vehicle on the road, after the suspension, you're to successfully complete a training on the dangers of speeding by a certified driving instructor, pass a written test on the road code administered by the authority, and pass a driving test administered by the authority. Here now, where a person has been found guilty of driving a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs, that person shall, in addition to serving any period of suspension specified in Section 32 of the Act, and any penalty specified in the 6th Schedule to the Act, and before being permitted to operate a motor vehicle, A. Successfully complete training to the dangers of driving while impaired by a certified driving instructor. B. Pass a written test on the dangers of driving while impaired administered by the authority. And C. Pass a driving test administered by the authority. Section 6, subsection 6, where the driver's license of a person has been suspended pursuant to Section 32 of the Act, the authority shall, after a period of suspension has ended, remove the demerit points that were recorded against the license in respect of that suspension, and amend the information in the driver's license register.